video. My name is Alizaya, and I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the big part, whatever. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm back. How y'all doing, girl? You already know what this black transsexual is having to do, girl. I'm having to push out this content for y'all, girl. Boom shakalaka. Yes, I know I look like your favorite average butch queen, but get up into the ghetto-ness or whatever. You knew what you were doing when you saw this ghetto-ass black transsexual. Hello. Before we get to today's video, girl, because today's another story time, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe because you will never find another ghetto black transsexual like me. Hello, hello, hello. I'm beautiful, you're beautiful. Get up into the big part, whatever. Go ahead and lock in on my soul. Alrighty, y'all. So guess what? I am back, and you already know I'm having to do it big. So, you guys know, I went out to New York a while ago. I think it was like a month ago or whatever, girl. I had the time of my life, girl. I was cutting up for those 3 days I was out there, girl. Boom, shakalaka. Alright, so before I start the video, you know what I'm about to say. Grab your snacks, tell your girlfriend, your brother, your mother, your sister, your father, your daughter, the dogs, the cats, everybody that you're gonna call them back because you're chilling with Alizaya. Get up into the ghetto-ness or whatever. Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, crap. All right, so.
All right, guys. So, I was in New York a while ago, like I said. And, like I said, sometimes I be feeling like bored and I be feeling in the mood to be sitting over here doing my little dough deeds or whatever, girl. I be wanting, go to Pound Town every now and again, right? Because I am a human being and I do have, human urges. And sometimes my human urges need to be fulfilled, if you get what I mean. Get up into the ghetto-ness or whatever, girl. So I was on that app or whatever, girl. Guess what app I was on? I just want y'all to take a little wild guess or whatever, girl. Bada bing, bada boom. Yes, y'all, I was on Tammy. So, y'all, I was on Tammy or whatever, right? And I was looking for, the trade or whatever, right? I was trying to see what, the guys got going on or whatever, right? So there was this one guy, he stood out to me. We're going to call him Pearl Syrup. We're just going to call him Syrup today or whatever, right? So Syrup, his little sweet self or whatever, he hit me up in the inbox, talk about, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, this and that. You know how the men be when they trying to get in your drawers or whatever, girl. They trying to give you the little cookie cutter sweet stuff or whatever, girl. Every time a man hit me up with that same old, girl, I'll be quick to be like, baby, I know what you want. You know what I want, girl. Cut the chit chat, girl. What's the price? Let me stop. But what's the call it? So me and him were talking or whatever, right? We were chit chatting. You know how the little conversation goes or whatever, right? But usually I will charge a man or whatever, what do you call it or whatever. But this particular dude, I didn't charge him because like I was bored and I was just like, let me see what the New York trade has to offer. Girl, that was the worst idea I've ever did in my life. So you already know he's talking about, oh, let me pull up on you, this and that, this and that. I was very scared because I stayed in a white people hotel or whatever, right? And the hotel I stayed in had heavy security, girl. It was like one of those rich people hotels, not gonna lie, girl, not gonna cap, girl. They had a Starbucks at the bottom, bitch. They had food courts. Like I was right there. It had a club, girl. Oh my God, like that's how you know I was deep down in New York. No Tito, shit.
Stop the cap.
So y'all, we're trying to plan on how we gonna link up or whatever, right? Because like I said, I stayed in a white people hotel and I don't know if I really want to allow him to come over here because I don't want, people to be like, oh my God, what's this black girl doing or whatever, girl. Even though I really don't care genuinely, but I was still in the back of my head, I was like, I really don't know. So I decided I was gonna go to his crib or whatever, right? And it was gonna be like that, right? So, I grabbed my Uber or whatever, right? My Uber was $82, y'all. I know y'all might be like, $82? Alizaya, you gonna spend that money like that? Girl, at the time I had it like that, girl. I could just blow through any type of coins like I wanted to, girl. No tea, no shade, girl.
Clock it.
So, y'all, like I said or whatever, right, I was on the way to the trade or whatever, right? Everything is, prepared or whatever, girl. I got my scented, lotions all up in my crack or whatever, girl, all up in my Grand Canyon, girl. I got my little, I got my little plastic wrap or whatever. I got the flavored plastic wrap, girl. I got the lubricant, girl. No tea, no shade, girl. Yeah, and I got my I'm talking about my little Nicki Minaj, girl. I ain't talking about that other stuff, girl. What y'all be on, girl? I ain't on that stuff. So y'all, I'm on the way to his crib or whatever, right? This is New York City, so it was about like I think an hour drive or whatever. So while my Uber is taking me over there, y'all, I'm seeing the stars, girl, because New York is very beautiful, girl. We was on like the river or whatever. I don't even know if it was a river or lake, but all I seen was yachts and stuff. I ain't never seen a yacht in my life, so I'm seeing the yacht, and mind you, it's starting to get daytime or whatever. Like when I left the house, it was like 4 a.m. By the time I went to his house, it was like 5 to 6 a.m. girl. No tea, no shade. So long story short, I made it to his crib or whatever, right? So you know how I am, girl. I'm very nitty gritty. You know, I'm very to, cutting no corners, girl. I like to get down with the gets down or whatever, right? So I told him, hey, dude, where you at? Dude never responded. So I'm like, oh no, we're not gonna play this, girl. I just spent $82. Oh no, we're not gonna play this. I know your address, right? So I call him, he declined the call. So I'm like, oh, you want to play this game? You want to play this game? Okay. I like how you going. I like how you playing this. Okay. So, I ended up going because he sent me his address. So, I went to the lobby or whatever, right, of the apartment complex. I'm like, do you know where this address is? They're telling me where to go and all this and that or whatever. And then they asking me, they're like, what do you need that address for? We haven't seen you before. I'm like, oh, my cousin lives out here. And, but you know how you got to make up some lies or whatever, girl. No tea, no shade. Just make up a quick lie as much as you can, girl. Bada bing, bada boom, right? So, like I said, girl, I'm going to his goddamn apartment complex or whatever. I'm going to his little apartment unit or whatever, right? So, I knock on the door or whatever, right? Y'all, it's like the music stopped. No tea, no shade. Because when I was walking up there, I heard music. And so, when I knocked, the music stopped, right? So, there was a little peephole or whatever, right? I don't know if I'm just this type of ghetto-ass black person, but, like, I'm the type of black person, like, I peep through the peephole, even though, like, you can't see, like, if you get what I mean, you get what I mean. Like, you just gotta watch those Medea movies to know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So, y'all, I'm peeping through the peephole, y'all. He's looking at me. So, I'm like, hello? And instead of, so then he cracked his door and he's like, what you doing here? I'm like, I thought we was linking up. He's like, no, that's why I ain't text you back. I'm like, so you had me drive an hour here, spent $82, and you're not gonna sit over here and, break my walls in? Oh girl, no, we was not playing that. So girl, I pushed the door open. And y'all, I walked inside. There was another T girl there. There was another T girl there.
It's too much tea, bitch.
Y'all, I kid you not. I was flabbergasted. So I was like, oh, you could have just said that. He was like, man, what are you doing? Man, what are you doing? So he getting all loud with me and stuff. I'm like, sir, we ain't finna cut all that, girl. We finna have some fun or whatever. I spent $82. We finna have some fun. If I ain't spend no money, then it would be a whole situation. But because I wasted my money here, I gotta get my money's worth. No tea, no shade, right? So then the T girl over there, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm gonna describe her. She was like this Latina. She's like, lady boyish or whatever, like, if you get what I mean, you get what I mean. You know those pretty fab Thailand lady boys or whatever? Like, she looked just like that. Like, pretty fab cunt. She gave what it was supposed to be given. And then there's this butch queen right here. No tea, no shade. So, y'all, when I tell you, girl, we're just going to call her Lady Boy. Because I don't know her damn name, right? Lady Boy, she looking at me like I'm goddamn crazy. And he's cussing me out. He's like, you need to go. You need to go. I told him, I spent money. Like, we finna have fun. And then I seen what you packing, girl. Hell yeah, you finna, beat my back in, girl. Hello, bitch, we in New York City. I don't give a fuck about any of that goddamn shit. All the morals that I have went out the window. I'm so fucking serious. So, y'all, dude, he knows that I wasn't budging. So he got all up in my face, right? So he's like, I'm going to tell you one more time. You going to get out of here. I'm like, sir, I'm going to be honest with you, girl. If I fall off this face of the planet, I really don't care, girl. I don't care about you getting all up in my face. I'll get up in your face. So now we really like getting back and forth. Like we really talking to, how do I say this? We're talking ish to each other. Let's just say it like that. Let's keep it cute for YouTube's guidelines. So y'all, like I said or whatever, right, y'all, when I tell you we're getting angry at each other or whatever, right, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, in the back of my head, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of getting scared now because I'm like, actually, do I want to keep, like, bugging him about this situation? Like, is it really worth the $82? I think my life is worth more than $82. No tea, no shade, right? So y'all, I just asked him simply. I was like, "Do you not just want to have a quick little, three, way or whatever you want to call it? Like, do you not want to have a three-way phone call? If you get what I mean?" He's like, "You know what, man? Just get in here or whatever, right?" So then, he shut the door or whatever, right? We settle down or whatever, right? I'm not gonna lie, lady boy, she just looking at me. I'm like, "Oh, hey, sweetheart, how you doing?" And so then, how do I say this? He had, we're gonna call it twisted. He had that twisted stuff or whatever. If you watch my hot takes video, you know what I'm talking about. He had that little twisted cup or whatever, right? And y'all, when I tell you, girl, I had to. I took me a good old sip. Hello. So y'all, I took that good old sip or whatever, right? So, he pulling it up for everybody, right? So, me and her and him are just taking our little sips or whatever, right? And so this is where things get a little, twisty or whatever, right? So, y'all, he was like, since you're here and since you're a verse or whatever, right? He was like, I want you to, I want y'all to like, do it or whatever, right? I was like, you want us? I thought we was doing you. Like, he was like, well, you could do me after. I want to watch y'all. That's my little kink or whatever. Oh, what in the diddler? What is going on? So y'all, I kid you not. Me and lady boy, we started making out or whatever, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I thought I would never be able to do this or whatever, and say bye to Nami, girl, because Nami, you gotta go to bed. I gotta feed my Bookie Bass with a good old story time. But yeah, me and lady boy started making out or whatever, right? I'm not gonna lie, girl, her breath smell like 10 cans of bounce that ass, but it's okay, girl. Me and her making out or whatever, and she started touching all up on my princess one. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like, this a little spontaneous. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was getting solid though, so maybe I am non-binary and I just don't know it yet. But
Everybody want to be a girl. Who gonna be the boys? I keep saying that.
so, y'all, I kid you not, this girl started literally eating my princess wine up, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I was so flabbergasted because I got my princess wine ate by that black boy up at ATL, and then I also got my princess wine ate up by this other guy in San Antonio. Both of them ate me off the bone, but like a whole, femme queen doing it, I was like, whoa, this is some really like gay stuff. Like, this is gay. And at the back of my head, I'm like, wow, like, does this not make me trans anymore? But we'll go down that rabbit hole later after this story time. So y'all, in like my corner review or whatever, right? I'm seeing the dude or whatever, right? I call him Syrup or whatever. Syrup is literally, sitting over here massaging his princess wand and watching us, do what we're doing. So while he's massaging his princess wand and watching us do what we're doing, right? That's when Lady Boy, she's like, I want you to, bada bing, bada boom. Cause I guess this girl was a full, power bottom or whatever, right? I'm the only verse here. Besides, we're gonna, the little diddler or whatever, right? So I'm just like, oh my God, like maybe I should have went home. And now I'm like, I'm kind of getting a little, anxious or whatever, right? I'm like, girl, I can't do that. And she's like, why? Why can't you do that? I'm like, I like men. I'll let you do a little 1-2, 1-2, but like I like strictly masculine men. Like him, oh yeah, I can blow his back out. As simple as that. Like that'll be easy. I'll go take him to Pound Town real quick. But you, I'm like, no. So he's starting to get frustrated. He's like, man, if you don't just go ahead and do what you gotta do. I'm like, who is you talking to? You're not talking to me like that. He's like, man, you at my house, so clearly I am talking to you. So then he get all up in my face. I'm like, sir, you better back away, girl. You better back away. So then that's when Lady Boy or whatever, she's like, just calm down. Just calm down. Okay, we can just take it slow. We can just take it slow. I'm like, girl, I don't want to sit over here and, blow your, I don't want to take you to Pound Town. I want to take him to Pound Town. Like, so y'all, like I said, things are starting to get very hostile and very toxic up in this man's house. And so y'all, I kid you not, I literally just stopped. I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this no more. So I start, trying to put my things on. He's like, you did all this rah-rah to get in here, and now you don't want to go forward with this situation or whatever and go forward with everything. Because, I got to, put guidelines on this stuff. I got to, tone it down for you too. But if you visualize what's going on, see or whatever, right? He's telling me, he's cussing me out. He's like, I'm like, sir, just calm down. It's not that damn serious. Y'all can do what y'all was doing before I was here, like, hello. He's like, man, you, he calling me the F slur. He calling me the T slur. I'm like, sir, now you don't want to go there or whatever, right? And I'm not going to lie, lady boy, she wasn't going for that either, girl. She's literally looking at him. She's like, what's going on with y'all two? So now she's putting on her clothes or whatever, right? And so he's like, man, you ruining everything. So then, y'all, he started grabbing, plates, and he started throwing dishes at me, y'all. He started throwing dishes at me. So now I'm getting scared, y'all. I dead getting scared. I was like, oh my God, this is ghetto. Mind you, we're in a New York apartment. If you know a New York apartment, it's very small. So there's no room to duck and dodge and hide. I'm like, oh my God, this is like scary as hell, right? So y'all, I kid you not, I'm sitting over here. I'm like, oh yeah, girl, I gotta go. I got to go. I gotta wrap it up, like call the laws or whatever, right? So, I'm trying to get up out of there or whatever, right? So now I'm heading like to the, like it's not even like a courtyard or whatever. It's not like the Bronx. I don't know where I was, but it was past Manhattan. I don't know if it was in Brooklyn, New York or whatever, but like it was where I seen rats. Let's just say it like that. But I was in that area. The apartments, like the inside was green or whatever, right? And so I'm trying to like get up out there and I'm trying to push the door open. This man proceeded to throw his shoe at me. Bitch, this is not giving Cardi B. What is wrong with you, y'all? So I dash up out of there, girl. I don't know what the hell happened to Lady Boy. That ain't got nothing to do with me, bitch. I'm not from New York City. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But I was trying to be on my little kinky shit. I was trying to live my life fast, and that's what, that's what happened to me, God said, you ain't trying to be living fast. You need to stop living fast. Slow your ass down or whatever. Bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, y'all, I went back home or whatever. I did get my doonies beaten by this white guy later on that day. But yeah, that was that. If you guys enjoyed this ghetto story time, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because you would never find another ghetto black transsexual like me. Hello, hello, hello. I got crazier, ghettoer story times. I don't know what I'm saying, girl. I'm stuttering, girl. But if you like this ghetto transsexual, like I said, make sure you subscribe. And I'll talk to you wonderful, amazing, beautiful people later. Bye, guys.